Good morning and happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for making the time to watch today's replay. This is the second Facebook Live that I'm dedicating to email marketing. I am focusing all month long on email marketing and how to make it work for you. So if you have any questions at all that aren't covered in today's Facebook Live, make sure you jump inside my free group, The Messaging Den, and look for the pinned post where I am collecting all of your questions and incorporating them into my weekly topics all month long. Now, for those of you who don't know me or don't know me well, my name is Karie Price. I'm a brand messaging coach helping ambitious service-based business owners find and own the words to stand out, be heard, and make your message roar. And if you are joining me live, please say hello so I know you're here and can greet you properly. If you're watching the replay, please let me know that too so I can come back and thank you for making the time to do that. Now, last week, I started off this monthly series on email marketing by talking about or sort of broaching the topic of, is email marketing dead? Now, spoiler alert, I think the answer is no, but I'll include links in the description after this live so you can go back and watch it. Sort of each week, I'll include the links to all of the topics this month so that you can easily find them and come back and reference whatever it is you're looking for. But let me recap a couple things that I talked about last week very quickly. I talked about why email marketing is frustrating, that you might be looking at low open rates, tiny click-through rates, and let's face it, GDPR sent all of us on a little bit of a whirlwind over the last couple months. And I'm not going to get into all of that again, but one of the things I asked you to think about or to look at is for all of those things, low open rates or engagement or reading or seeing your content, the low click-through rates, engagement, calls to action, things like that, and GDPR, which is regulations or rules that we have to follow, you have that no matter what your marketing channel. On social media, not everybody sees your posts, right? That might be the equivalent to open rates. Not everyone clearly engages with your posts, which might be similar to click-through rates. And we have terms of service and rules that we have to follow no matter what platform or mechanism we use. But one of the key things that differentiates email marketing from those other marketing channels is that you own your email marketing. Yes, you might use a third-party tool to do that. More than likely, you do that. By the way, if you don't, you should. There is a tool, but you own the email list. That is an asset in your business. And if you're not taking regular backups of your list, most email service providers let you do that. You can download your list. I recommend you do that in case somebody goes out of business, right? Like that is an asset in your business and you need to protect it as an asset. So that's what distinguishes your email marketing from social media, which is rented land, right? We have to play by their rules. They could change the rules at any time, including here on Facebook. We see that our reach might be impacted and we have to pay to get posts seen. You don't follow the terms of service, you could get locked out of your accounts or have your account closed altogether. So we have less control of that. With email marketing, people are saying, yes, please send me your brilliance directly to my inbox. So as we tackle email marketing this month, the first step is getting people on your email list. And that's what I want to talk about mostly today. Now, I just want to clarify some things I'm not going to be talking about. I am not going to be getting into GDPR, CAN Spam Act, or whatever regulations or compliance you're required to adhere to as an online business owner in your country. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. So whenever we're talking about, people giving you permission and how to get it and how to word that, I'm not going to get into that. I'm not a lawyer. Plenty of great resources out there to do that. I will be talking about the general concepts of getting people to opt in and sign up on your list. But just to be clear, I am not going to get into any compliance or legal recommendations. Okay. Huge caveat right here. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the technology and the systems that you might need. I'll share with you a little bit about what I use, but this is not going to be a deep dive on technology and how to set that up. There are resources that can help you do that, and I'm happy to refer you to people if you have a question and you need help in that area. But I will be covering at a high level the types of technology that you might need to have in place to support getting people on your email list. Okay. And I am not going to get into specifics on how to create your content. Next week, I'm going to be talking about what to do with people once they're on your email list. So I will be talking about ideas for content, frequency, segmentation, all of that. We're going to get into that next week. And in July, I'm going to be focusing my Facebook Live mini classes in July on content creation and content ideas in generalities to help, get you thinking about certain things. But I'm also working on a workshop to dive deeper into specifics on helping you create content, including your freebies, including what goes in your emails and all of that. So if that's something you are looking for help with, awesome. Let me know. You can drop a comment below, send me a message. I'm talking about this inside my free group, The Messaging Den, as well. Let me know that that's something that would be interesting for you. And I will either queue it up for the free content in July or incorporate it into the paid workshop that I am working on for later this summer. Okay. So that just sort of level sets what I am and am not going to be talking about today. But let's dive in now on how to get people on your email list. Because if you are not getting them on your email list, you have nobody to email, right? Now, this should not surprise you if you've been following me for any length of time. When you are looking at how to get people on your email list, the thing that you need to remember, just like most things in your message, it's not about you. It's not about you and the fact that you want people on your list. It's about what's in it for them. What is in it for the people that you're trying to attract? Why will they care to say, yes, please add another email to my probably overflowing inbox, right? Hey, Linda. Oh, sorry you couldn't see me before. I'm glad you're here now. Thank you so much for joining me live. So when you're thinking about all things email marketing, it's really easy to internalize that. I want to grow my list. I want more people on my list because I want more people to nurture and warm up and potentially make an offer to, right? And so we think about, what do we want? What's important, and you're going to hear a lot about this today and next week when I dive in deeper on what to do with people once they're on your list, but it's not about you. It's about what you can give them, why they're going to want it, and what's the benefit to them. Christine says, I'm struggling with being consistent in this. I need to create a schedule and complete tasks related to this on a regular basis in order to stick to it in the long term. Christine, I'm going to talk about that in more detail next week. So make sure you come back and join me for that. I'm going to be talking about frequency, what kind of content, how often should you email, all of that. Okay, we're going to dive into that next week. So make sure you come back. So we need to get people on our email list, right? Again, not for the sake of I have people on my list, but you want to be attracting people who are going to get value from your message that you're going to communicate to them through your email marketing. Okay. And so why would people agree to get more email? If your inbox looks anything like mine, and Linda, I know you've been working on cleaning out your inbox, and I need to do it too. But if your inbox looks anything like mine, we are inundated with dozens, maybe hundreds of emails every single day. So why would people want to invite somebody into their inbox to drop more emails into their inbox? Hey, Pamela, so good to see you. Thank you for joining me live. I have a hair on my lipstick, I think. Yeah. Okay. Well, people will want to be on your email list if they think they're going to get, they have the hair still there, they're going to get valuable information that they're looking for. If they are able to get information to help them solve a problem that they're struggling with, right? I don't know about you, but I usually sign up for emails from people who are experts in something that I'm not an expert in and I want to get better at, right? And I want to learn from them. And so I invite them into my inbox. Well, how do you usually do that? Typically, and so I said I'm not going to talk about GDPR and compliance, but I'm going to here for just a brief moment. It used to be, and typically this is still the case, that you offer some sort of free content. And to get the free content, you need to get their people's email address so that you can send it to them, right? And by doing so, you now have their email address and you can email them. Just keep in mind with GDPR changes, CAN Spam Act, all the other regulations that you need to be aware of and make sure you adhere to. You need to look at, are people consenting to get more emails from you than just the freebie? So for years, most people have said, get a freebie, and by the way, you'll get on my email list. Some people now, it's just a matter of semantics. It's like, sign up for my email list, and by the way, I'll give you this free gift. Whichever way you tackle that to adhere and be compliant with regulation, it's still important that people know what they're getting from you. And a freebie of some sort is the best way that people know exactly what they're getting. And if done well, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the different kinds of free content you can give people. If done well, it gives them a really good taste of what to expect from you. You can position yourself as an expert right away. They know what kind of content will be coming into their inbox and they'll stay on your list, right? Hey, Sarah, so good to see you. Yeah, Pamela says the key is to add value to their life. They'll be waiting for that every week. Yeah, next week we're going to talk more about frequency and the kind of content to drop in, but let's specifically just talk about the freebie that's going to get them onto your list. What is going to compel people enough to say, yeah, I know you're going to want to email me after this. Everybody knows now that a freebie is not just about the freebie, right? Everybody knows a freebie means they're getting on your list. So what is going to be compelling enough for them to want to do that and positions you as an expert so that they want to continue to get information from you, right? So and it's really important to think about what that freebie is so it attracts the right people. People get really caught up in what is commonly referred to as vanity metrics. How many people do you have on your list? Oh, I have 5,000 people on my list, 10,000 people on my list. And it's a vanity metric, right? It's meant to make you feel good or give you prestige to other people. Here's the thing. Doesn't matter how many people on your list if they're the wrong people. If you're attracting your aunts, your best friends from high school who don't even know what you do, some random people that aren't your ideal client, right? And you're building your list with people who will never buy from you, are not remotely interested in your content, the numbers don't matter. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're attracting people that are ultimately potentially people you can serve. Now, there are freebie seekers out there and they're grabbing all their freebies. Awesome. Let them grab them and go. Who cares, right? Your job, though, is to put out some sort of freebie, some sort of enticement that will attract the right people to your list that are potentially the right clients. Answer to the pain point your ideal client is having is what Pam was saying. Yeah, that's absolutely one way to look at it. I want to give you a few different things to be thinking about when thinking about what your freebie is. So one, actually, before I get to that, because I'm referring back to my notes and I don't want to miss anything. Sarah says, truth. I actually like it when I put a very honest message out and a couple It means the people who stay with me are who I'm wanting to talk to. Yes, absolutely, Sarah. People get hung up on the unsubscribes. We'll talk about that more later in the month. It's a good thing. Your job with your message, which is communicated in everything you do, including your email marketing, is to help people identify, yes, that's me, or no, I'm not, right? So if you're getting unsubscribed, your message is helping people recognize, nope, not interested. Awesome. That's awesome, right? But let's stay focused today on how to get people on your list. Next week, we're going to talk about what to do with them once they're on your list, okay? So when you're looking at that freebie, remember, people are exchanging their email address for the content that you're agreeing to provide them. That is it's not a monetary exchange, but there is a value exchange there. And when you recognize that, putting out a freebie, you want to be valuable. How much do you value somebody being added to your email list that you have an opportunity to nurture them, support them, guide them, give them great information, be seen as an expert? And then when you're ready to make them an offer, they will actually consider it, right? That's a valuable exchange. So don't rush what your freebie is. And by the way, you don't need a whole lot of freebies. I'm going to talk to you in a moment about what to think about when crafting your freebies. But what kinds of freebies can you create? Because some people get really paralyzed by this. You might have seen 3-part video series. Webinars are a freebie, right? It's information you exchange. They need to give you their email just to sign up for that. But the simplest one can be a PDF, right? Something that you can create that meets your ideal client's need. Does not have to meet everything. It needs to give them one thing that can help move them forward. But here's the important thing when you're thinking about what your freebie should be. And this is a big mistake I see a lot of people make. They put out freebies that they say, but this is what my ideal clients, this is what my people, because I'm not even going to say ideal clients, but this is what people are asking for. I'm going to put out a recipe guide because that's what people in my group are asking for. I'm going to put out whatever it is because that's what people are asking for. Here's the more important question. 1, do you know who your dreamiest ideal client is and what they're struggling with right now and how it shows up for them right now? And do you have a paid solution that addresses that? Because if you don't, you're missing that piece. So here's the 2 pieces you need to understand. Who your ideal client is and the pains, problems, struggles that they have at a really specific level, right? Very specific group of ideal clients. We cannot be vague. You can't, right? You don't want to be broad, and a specific problem that they're struggling with. But you also need to know ultimately what your service offering is, right? What is it you do to solve that problem? Because your freebie needs to connect from their pain to be the first thing that's going to move them on a path towards wanting to hear about your paid offer, right? So if your freebie is recipes because that's what people want, but your paid offering has nothing to do with meal planning, there's a disconnect. People who sign up for recipes generally want more information like that. So if you have an offering that is meal planning and how to make that easy and how to create meals that are 5 ingredients or less, then great. Maybe a recipe or 2 is a good freebie. But if not, then people who sign up for that, when you make them an offer that's not related to that, there's a disconnect. And now your message is not reliable. So you want to make sure that your freebies are a good first step that help start to alleviate the problem, but ultimately allow you to warm them up, establish yourself as an expert for the paid offer that you have, okay? And so that can be any number of things. Here is my words of caution for you around creating these PDFs. And one of the things that I see a lot of people do that work against you. And it feels counterintuitive, but bear with me. You actually want your PDF to be short, sweet, really impactful. Checklists are awesome. One thing that they could do, or it's just a couple pages long. The people who put out guides that are like the 97 ways you can whatever, here's what you do when people sign up for that. First of all, they might think they need that. And by the way, I sign up for freebies all the time because I like to see what people are doing, what's working, what's not. And you get these like 15-page guides, or it's this massive list of 97 things you can do. Do you know what you just did? Completely overwhelmed that person, and bye-bye, they're gone. Your job as the expert that you are is to make results easier for your ideal client. It's not to tell them the 1,001 ways that they could get there. They already know that. They're already overwhelmed with that information out there in the world, right? There's not a lack of information. People are not looking for information. They're looking for transformation. What can they start doing right now to get results? What can you help them do to take the first step? Don't inundate them with so much information that all you do is overwhelm them and then they check out. I even downloaded a PDF once, and it was, I forget the number. It was a large 150 steps to a launch, let's say. First of all, I just completely got overwhelmed about the thought of a launch when there was 150 steps, right? And even at the bottom, she says, well, you don't have to do all of these, but these are all the things to consider. Yeah. Hello, you're not going to break down making launching easier for me, right? Completely overwhelmed me. I immediately unsubscribed. Okay. Tanya says, are you certain about that? I love the longer freebies, because if somebody puts that much out there, I assume that's the repetitive stuff they have down and they want to know what they can do for me. Tanya, that's a great thought. And longer is just not always better. By definition, longer is not better. Helping people get results better. Do I need to tell you every possible thing that I could do for you that's going to make your business amazing by working with me in my freebie? No. What I need to show you is that I can get you results, that I can help you with even a few small things. Change the way you think about your business, change the way you think about marketing, show up differently to make your marketing more effective. If I can do that with 1 or 2 tips, holy cow, what can I do for you with 3 months of intense coaching and lifetime access to me, right? I don't have to give you a lot of stuff for you to see that I know how to get you results. In fact, if I can get you results with fewer things, doesn't that make me more valuable to you? Yeah, Tanya says 150 is too much. Pamela says, yes, yes, be specific, short, and answer the ideal client's pain point. Pamela, yes, and you don't have to completely solve the problem forever. So I want people to be really clear about that. Your freebie should be absolutely valuable. Remember, I said this is a value exchange. They're giving you their email address, totally valuable to you, to get valuable information from you, right? And it should be valuable. It should help them in some way address the problem they have. Let's be honest, it's not going to completely eliminate the pain point they have. You know that, and they know that. A freebie is not going to be the magic wand that makes everything better, right? But it should help them see that change is possible, that the solution is possible, that even with a small change, they saw improvement. So, oh my gosh, maybe I really can solve that problem for good forever, right? Sarah says, what about an infographic? Infographic, here's what I love about them. Concise information, easy to consume. It sort of falls in the same line of don't create a thing with 150 items on it. If you can clearly communicate your information, it doesn't have to be an infographic. But if you can communicate your information in a way that's also visually appealing and easy to understand, awesome, total bonus. Tanya says, how about a freebie for a generic pain point? I don't want to solve their core problem, not for free. Okay, so Tanya, this is sort of the opposite of what you said about creating something like longer and beefier and feeling like you needed to get that much value. In general, including in your message, generic doesn't help you. Generic does not help you stand out as an expert. I don't know what you mean by generic, and we're not going to, on this live, dive in deep on how to, like, what the content should be and how to craft that. That's coming in an upcoming workshop that I'll be offering. But generic never helps you stand out in your market. Generic never helps you be seen as an expert. So be specific, because that's what's going to attract the right people, the people with a specific problem. You're not trying to completely solve the problem for free in a freebie. What you're trying to show them is the fix is possible. Here's the first step. This will help you feel good, get some progress, and see the possibility that a full fix can be found. By the way, now I'm going to email you and I'm going to tell you how I can help you do that, right? And we're going to dive into that next week. So keep it short and sweet. If you decide that your freebie is a video, it could be a repurposed Facebook Live. Like, you could do a Facebook Live, it could be totally awesome. You could choose, let's say, to take it down on Facebook and go put it up somewhere that people have to email you to find out about it. It could be a really awesome training. It's free information that's going to stir their desire, as one of my mentors calls it, stir their desire to want that fully fixed. You're highlighting the problem for them and say, is this a problem? And they're going, uh-huh. You're like, great, try this. Does that help? They're like, yeah. Would you like that fully fixed? That's behind the paywall. They pay you to get that. But you have to create the desire, the want for them to want that problem fully fixed, right? So very quickly, let me talk to you about what this means for you from a tech perspective, because my own clients and a lot of people that I see out there, this is a piece that starts to get people a little like, okay, great, I've got this idea, but now what? How do I actually implement that? How do I create the freebie and get them to sign up, get their email list, and like get them all set up, right? Okay, Tanya says we have a different approach to freebie. That's totally fine. Everybody can have their own opinion. This is mine because this is what I see that helps you establish yourself as an expert and makes your message roar. Tanya says, though, hers are usually more like short stories. They're storytelling, right? Tanya, my question to you would be, why are they going to care to read a story? What does that do for them? People don't want information. They want transformation. They want to know that you can get them whatever the results are that you desire. If storytelling and them reading a story does that for them, great. Okay. But that's the point of the freebie. If what you're after is you're wanting to establish yourself as an expert, you're wanting to show them that you can get them the transformation that they're after, and that they want to learn more from you. Okay? So here are the things that you need to have in place. And this is going to be an overly simplified thing because, look, I know the tech can be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be. If you're struggling with that, let me know. I have some referrals, people I can refer you to that are amazing at this, that can help you with that. But at a high level, Tanya says, you're hurting me. But you're probably right. Perhaps that's blog material. Yeah, or Tanya, come back next week when I talk about the kinds of content to email them after they're on your list. What to do with them after, okay? Here's the things that you need to, once you got the freebie. You need to create the freebie, right? You need to create a PDF or record that video, and you need somewhere to put the video then, right? But the simplest one is a PDF, so that's what I'm going to talk about. So you need to create a PDF. You can do that for free in Canva. If you have a Mac, graphic designers are going to hate this until you can invest with a graphic designer to do that. But you can even create it in PowerPoint or Word or Google Docs or whatever, and then print it to a PDF to create a PDF. There's lots of different ways to make a PDF for free. Okay. But you need to create the PDF in some way. you need a way for people to sign up for it. So you need what you'll hear called a landing page or a sign up page. You need somewhere where people can go to learn about the freebie and give you the name and email address, right? Now, a lot of people will recommend lead pages or other things. If you have a WordPress site, even on, I think on other sites, I use WordPress, so that's what I'll talk about. I create all my pages on my WordPress site. Ooh, sorry for banging the table. I create them all on my, thanks Sarah, talk to you later, on my website directly. I don't use lead pages. I don't feel the need to pay for another service. I have a website. I'm able to create pages. It all goes on my WordPress site. I integrate. I know that sounds like a scary word, but it's easy when you're working with all these tools. They make this easy, but I integrate the little sign up box, the name and email address from my email marketing tool, which is the second piece of the puzzle that you need. I use ConvertKit. I love it. I will acknowledge there is no free level. There's a lot of benefits for me about why I use ConvertKit. If you have questions about that, I can do a behind the scenes video and talk about that more inside my Facebook group, The Messaging Den. But there's a lot of reasons why I use ConvertKit. Super powerful, very reasonable price, but it's not free. So I take the ConvertKit sign up form, put that on my website. People now can come to a landing page that, by the way, I'm promoting in my message, right? They can come to a landing page. They can see what the freebie is going to be about and sign up for that. ConvertKit, when you set it all up, then takes care of, as soon as they sign up, it sends them the PDF automatically. All right. Next week, we're going to talk about what to do after that. But those are like the things you need. You need the freebie, a way to sign up for it, and an email marketing system. If you have specific questions about any of those, you can jump into the messaging den and ask me there. I'll either do a behind the scenes video later this week inside the group and share more details about that, or I will connect you with somebody who is more tech focused to get you more details. Okay. Okay, let me catch up on comments real quick. Tanya says Keynote's beautiful for Mac. Yeah, Keynote or PowerPoint, whichever of those you use. Lots of awesome templates. Canva. Yep. And MailChimp is a great way to start. There are pros and cons. I was a MailChimp user a long time ago. I switched to ConvertKit for very specific reasons. And again, I'm happy to go into that if people have questions about that inside my group. Linda says they have to need to get our message. Everything you do, and Linda, you're absolutely right. Everything we do, all the marketing we do, including email marketing, it has to speak to them in a way that makes them want to take action to come learn from us, right? Everything we do. It's all about your message. Pamela, you're so welcome. Okay. If you want to see a couple examples of freebies, I have a couple PDF freebies, and I have a masterclass, which is a pre-recorded video. And I'll drop the links in the description, but you can go to karieprice.com/4things to get one of my free PDFs, and you'll see a landing page that gets you to sign up for the freebie, and then you get an email, and then you're going to start seeing content that comes out after that, which we're going to talk about next week. Another way that you can get on my list where I'm giving you value is I have a free recorded masterclass. It's an hour-long masterclass to help you make your message roar. Okay. It lays out for you my whole framework for what it means to make your message roar and how you can start implementing it yourself right away. So you can go check out those landing pages. And you can sign up for those if you want to see how those work. Here's a bonus tip that's going to help you get ready for next week's discussion, where I'm going to be talking about what to do with people once they're on your email list. But within the system that you're using, whatever that is, MailChimp, ConvertKit, Entreport, doesn't matter. You want to make sure you know what they opted in for. The more that you can start to know what your subscriber is interested in, the better you can create content that's going to be relatable for them, which we're going to talk about more next week. But whatever you're setting up, make sure you know what they signed up for. okay, as they're being added to the list. That is going to be hugely helpful when we get to next week's topic. Tanya, how do you define a masterclass? What do you mean by that? Let me know what you mean by that while I wrap up. Okay. The other thing I mentioned is if you have questions at all about anything related to email marketing, I am collecting those questions from people, my clients, and inside my free group. There's a pinned post inside my free group, The Messaging Den. Just go to themessagingden.com or search for The Messaging Den right here on Facebook and look for the pinned post. That's where I'm collecting all your questions. And one of the questions that was asked that is appropriate for today's topic, and because I'm slotting them in where they make the most sense, is can I have one email list that includes clients, referral partners, and prospects, or is it necessary to segment? And if the latter, at what stage would it be most practical to do this? So I'll talk about this a little bit now and again next week. But as I was just saying, you want to make sure you know how and why people are on your list, because you only want to send them the information that they care about. When we talk next week about what to do with people on your list and how to think about content and frequency and all of that, I won't say the worst thing you can do, because I'm going to share with you like some mistakes to avoid next week. But one of the last things you want to do is send people content that they don't care about. That's the easiest way for you to get unsubscribes for the wrong reason. Okay. We talked earlier about unsubscribes are not bad, but let's make sure that people are not unsubscribing because you're sending them stuff that doesn't matter to them. So clients are going to get different information than non-clients. Referral partners might get different information than prospects. And it's very important as soon as possible. I'm talking like as soon as they get added to your email list to know that about those people. So we'll talk about that more next week. Okay, Tanya says, I don't know, Masterclass sounds like paid and you're giving it away for free. You have this awesome way of wording things, but I find it misleading and I'm wondering how I should name mine. Maybe I'm not wired right. Okay, so Tanya, if you find a free Masterclass misleading that it's free, I don't know how to help you with that. I'm very clear that it's a free Masterclass. The reason I choose to call it a masterclass is because it truly is training. You are walking away, and you can go look at the landing page and I'll tell you, here's what you're going to learn. You're going to learn the 3 biggest mistakes that people make in branding and how to avoid them. You're going to learn how to make your message roar. My entire framework that I teach my clients inside my program, and actionable steps that you can start applying right away. So I'm going to teach you what the elements are in the framework and stuff you can actually start doing for yourself. To me, that is high value, totally training that you can apply. I can call that a masterclass. By the way, you can call stuff whatever you want. I don't feel that that's misleading at all. I make it very clear that it's free. I make it very clear that you're learning the framework that I teach my clients inside my program. So you're getting a peek inside my program. So I'm going to tell you about my program. I don't feel there's anything at all misleading about that. If you're worried that your language is misleading, then one, I think you need to look at your message and your language, why you don't feel confident about it, and what fears you have around putting stuff out in front of people and letting them decide if it's valuable to them or not. Not everyone's going to dig it. That's okay. But if you can feel good that what you're providing is valuable, and I call it a masterclass because I'm teaching you and think there are things that you can start doing. I have no qualms calling it that. Okay. Having an awesome way of wording things, that's what messaging is all about. And I want that for all my clients. I help all my clients feel confident in the words that they're using and how they talk about what they do so that they can go out there and not feel bad about putting their stuff out there, and that it's on point and it speaks to their ideal client. You should have that too, Tanya. Okay. All right. This went long, you guys. So much to talk about with email marketing, and I'm splitting it up for the whole month. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Again, if you have more questions, pop into my group, The Messaging Den. Look for the pinned post in the group. And I will cover your questions over the next couple weeks where I'm continuing to dive in deeper into email marketing. Next week, it's all about what to do with those people once they're on your list. If you have more specific questions around anything that I've talked about today, drop into the messaging den and let me know there. And I may jump in later this week with a more deep dive behind the scenes into either the tech or how to figure out the topic for your freebie, all of that. Let me know and I can do a deep dive inside my group later in the week. Yeah, Tanya, no problem. I know that was not a critique. Tanya says, not a critique. Sorry if it came across like that. I just have a problem with the word. Yeah, words have meaning for people. Absolutely. If it doesn't resonate for you, my choice of the word is intentional. And right, I choose to use that word for a very specific reason. If that doesn't resonate for you, then maybe the masterclass isn't what you want. You don't want that detailed learning, right? But I would think about why you feel uncomfortable about the word masterclass. And you don't have to use the word masterclass in your own business if that doesn't relate for you. But what's more important is does it relate to the people you're trying to attract? And the people who attend my masterclass tell me hands down, it is jam-packed full of value. I have no problem offering that for free. Yeah, master equals value equals cash. Yeah, it does. But I also know that I ask people to make an investment in their business to work with me. And so I have to offer value for them to see the value. Right? Your freebies, the things that you put out there, need to position you as the expert that people want to work with. I know that I'm worth every penny and more of the investment my clients make with me. And if giving them access to a jam-packed masterclass full of training to help them see what they're struggling with in their messaging and how it could be better if they implement all the things I help my clients implement, then it does its job for me. Yeah, I'm okay with that. All right. If you have any other questions, drop those in the comments below. Pop into the group and let me know, and I can deep dive into that later this week inside the messaging den. Otherwise, thank you again so much for hanging out with me live, for watching the replay. I look forward to being back here next week. And if you want to get the weekly topics of my Facebook Lives delivered directly to you via Messenger so you don't miss a topic that you're interested in, you can sign up for that at karieprice.com. I was just seeing if I have a thing. karieprice.com/notify me. That will get you my weekly topics delivered right to you via Facebook Messenger about an hour before I go live every week. So you can decide if you want to join me live or catch the replay. All right. Until then, don't settle for Don't settle for sounding like everybody else. Make sure that you get heard and make your message roar. Have a great week, everybody. Hey, Pearl, I'm so glad you were here. I'm glad this was helpful and valuable to you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Bye.